set a pen for my water route, and I'm going to the terrain pull down menu to drainage. Okay, so these are the drainage functions, the water drop, and then you've got the flow direction and drainage network. So those two do both the water route, dominant water route, and catchment area calculations for you. But to start with, I'm just going to use the water drop. So that would just work on your triangulated site. You can output a CAD polyline or a terrain string. I'm going to use the terrain string for this example, just calling it water drop. We'll ask you for your start point for this water course. So I'm just going to click up top here. You can see the contours of our site, and the water's running down this route, down into this flatter area at the bottom there. The function repeats, so I could add another one if I wanted to. So I'm just adding water drop 2. You can add as many water drops as you like to your terrain surface. And just over this crest here, I'm going to add another flow direction or water drop route. Okay, the nice thing is it works out your levels and coordinates. So at the start point, where you click initially, and then the end point, it'll work out the coordinate and elevation. We also have the maximum minimum gradient and average gradient and length along that water drop route. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you how the program then works out the water route. To do that, I'm going to go to display settings and just switch off my height shading. So just unchecking the height shading, and then I'd like to use the slope shading function, switching slope shading on. And I'm not using the colors, but I'm only going to use the arrows. So I want to use that slope shading arrows just to show you how the program then works out where the lowest point along that route is and where the water would run along that site of ours, that DTM surface. So the slope shading arrows directions are based on the heights at every corner of the triangles in your DTM surface. So it's a weighted average of each triangle. So I'm changing to this copy of our eSmall project just to show you the water route in a 3D format. So I'm just going to go right click to our render view, the CAD render view, and I've got some predefined views that I've saved. So that's the view from side on of that main water route, water drop route. That's the view from the top looking down towards the bottom, and this is the view from the bottom, the water running down. I've also prepared a fly through. You can see it's following that water drop polyline, and then I've got a height above, a sight distance, and a speed that I want to run the fly through. A little bit of a roller coaster ride in the beginning, but smooths out lower down. But you can see the arrows, so that's my main point here, is to show you how the direction arrows, slope shading arrows, sort of guide the water drop path. And you can see this is where the program gets to a point where it can't go any further, and then it terminates that water drop route.